What's up YouTube? Andy with Andy's Auto Detailing and Ceramic Coatings. We are going to do another comparison video, once again, ironically, on a Prius with ceramic coatings going head to head. This time we have a accredited only coating, which is Crystal Cerm Ultra. A lot of you guys have probably heard about that. Got high hopes for that because I am an accredited installer. That's how I have that bottle. We also have some not necessarily newer to the market, but not as well known coatings. We have Pearl Nano Easy Coat, which is, I'll describe these coatings as I do them. And then we have Pearl Nano XV2, which is extremely popular in certain areas and things because of its claim to fame is how chemical resistant that coating is. I've heard from personal people who have actually tested this in salt spray conditions where that is the most chemical resistant coating on the market from what I have heard. We do install both of these two right here as well as some of our lower budget ceramic coatings or lower level, whatever you want to say. So we're going to put these three head to head on this hood. We're going to go here, here, and here, exactly how I have it set up. Hopefully this doesn't take me 6 months to do. I'll actually torture test these a little bit. And then we're gonna see what holds up. I am gonna, just for, so everybody knows, I am doing the entire vehicle in this one, other than the hood. So that's gonna be my coating of choice for the whole vehicle. But we are gonna go ahead and use these two. This is our personal vehicle. So we will be able to kind of track this and really see how these hold up. This is actually, this condition of this hood is actually a lot better condition than the last Prius we tested some coatings on. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here at the top if I remember. And then you guys can go take a look at those two coatings and see how those compared to each other. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get straight into it. I'm gonna change camera angle. Look at that, oh my goodness, failure. Anyway, we're gonna get straight into it. Good thing it's my own rig, right? And then we'll see how this works. All right, so I'm apologizing in advance. This is probably gonna be a little bit longer of a video, but there's gonna be a lot to go over. And if you are interested in this kind of stuff, then it will make sense to have a longer video so that I can explain things a little bit better for you guys. So we're gonna start with Crystal Cerm Ultra right here. I do install this as our top tier ceramic package. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a brand new applicator and we're just gonna get this thing pretty saturated. I'm gonna give everything the benefit of the doubt and try to really put on a nice thick coat so that they can compare against each other really, really well. I'm gonna just load this thing up. Usually I use like 2 vials, but we're gonna go ahead and use like 3 just for this small area that we're gonna do. So here we go. There is probably gonna be a little overlapping, but we're just gonna do what we can about that. One thing about Crystal Cerm Ultra that I actually really, really like, I'm gonna just kind of talk about that with each coating, things that I do like, maybe things that I don't like if I can think of it. But it just goes on really easy. It's one coat. G-Technic says it's a 9-year coating, believe it or not, 9 years. So I like to put this coating on really, really thick. It's on there really thick. It kind of sweats. If that makes sense, and it's almost immediately ready when you put it on too, so there's not a whole lot of waiting, but you do have to do small sections at a time. It's very important. Another thing to be noted is you do not want water touching this coating while installed. Do not. It ruins it. So it's not very friendly to water, but it is extremely slick of a coating, like you guys can see like that. It's very slick, easy on, easy off. You're gonna go 3 wipes on each one just to make sure. So there's that one installed. Okay, our next one we're gonna do is we're gonna do Pearl Nano Easy ceramic coating. It's called Easy Coat, however you wanna pronounce it. And we're gonna use one of their applicators, which are these orange ones. I'm somewhat back and forth on these applicators, to be honest, because they do absorb a little bit more coating. I really, really like these P&S applicators. I really like these because they really don't soak up the product. So we're gonna go ahead and open this. Let's see, we're gonna try to load it up as close as we can to how much that other one had. One thing to note about this one, this is another one of those stinky, stinky coatings. Just like that last video, this coating stinks. So it's a tough one to do. So we're gonna try to go in between those as much as we can. And then just shoot for the best. Hopefully I don't overlap these and mess something up. I didn't do a tape line or anything like that, as you guys can tell, but. So this coating, it lays down nicely also. It's a nice, easy to use, go figure, right? Haha. Easy to use coating. I really like this coating. This is one of our lower tier ones, like I mentioned earlier. But one thing I do notice with this one, honestly, is it takes a little longer to actually flash, so to speak, and it does a little bit of sweating and a little bit of like rainbowing. So it's kind of hard to tell when this coating is ready to wipe off, to be honest. That's been my struggle with this coating in particular. That's really one of my only complaints about this one, is you kind of don't know when to wipe it down, because I've tried doing it right away. I've tried doing it after 5 minutes, and honestly, it all wipes off about the same, because usually you can tell by the way a coating wipes off on whether or not it's ready. So we're just gonna kind of base this off of guessing, essentially, because it doesn't rainbow a whole lot and it doesn't sweat a whole lot, so it's a little bit weird. But all in all, it's a good coating. So, and this is what I'm gonna show you guys about this coating also. So when you go to wipe it off, it's very sticky. It's a sticky coating to take off and to try to level without wiping it off too much. So we're just gonna do the level process. We're gonna flip, and you can see there's quite a bit on there. I'm gonna try not to overlap too much. And I am using separate towels for each of these, just so you guys know. We're gonna flip to a nice clean side. Towel 3. Even on the last wipe, honestly, it's not super slick. I mean, the Crystal Serum Ultra, it's like really slick. Look, this one kind of grabs, it's hard to tell, so I apologize. But it grabs a lot more than Crystal Serum Ultra does. Okay, hopefully we got that one. Now we have XV2, meaning version 2 of this coating. So, weird thing about this coating, see that? It's got solids that actually are in the bottom. It uses a different carrying agent from what I understand. So what I always do is I mix that up. So I actually just use a nice long screwdriver and I stick it in there and kind of mix some of that stuff up, because it doesn't always like to mix very well. These are all 50 milliliter bottles, as you can tell, because I like to buy in 50 milliliter rather than other ones. And this one has a nice rip on it, but I just pop that off. I'm gonna do this probably off camera to make it a little easier. All right, so now that I got that lid off of there, if this will focus, is I'm gonna stick a screwdriver in there and actually mix some of that sediment or, coating, whatever the heck that is at the bottom. I'm gonna just mix that up into it. All right, so now that I got that mixed up, you can see it's a lot better than it was. It still could use some. Shake it up. That's probably my complaint about this coating in particular, is there's a lot of prep with the actual coating. You really want that mixed in as much as you possibly can. And then also, I usually take out those little drippers, because typically it doesn't like to drip very well. So we're gonna use this one, the same one we did use, but we're gonna flip it to a nice clean side. Let's use this side. This side we haven't used yet. But these droppers don't really work very well for this coating. Oh, look at that. This is the first one I've had actually work really well. So that's nice to know. That might be a little much right there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and install this on this one. Same process. Might have overlapped a little right there. So this coating is another one of those coatings you want to put on nice and thick. I like to put all my coatings on nice and thick, to be honest, because I just feel like that's the right way to do it. Sorry about the background noise, guys. It's a little echoey in here too. I'm not mic'd up or nothing. So there's that. I think we're good. So this coating actually flashes at a decent speed also, more comparable to Crystal Serum Ultra, where it kind of sweats and it's, oh yeah, you can see it in the video kind of, so that's nice. It does the sweating process. Now, if you don't know what that means, hopefully you do. I'll explain it real quick since we're waiting for that one. is it actually looks like the water or the coating is starting to bead a little bit on the surface, thus called sweating. If it's a flash, so to speak, it's where it rainbows, and what it's doing is the solvent carrier is actually evaporating off and then leaving behind the ceramic or the SiO2. So we're gonna go ahead and wipe this off. New towel. Yeah, that's perfect right there. So this one's not as grabby as the Easy Coat, not as grabby by any means, but it's not as slick as Crystal Serum Ultra. Flipped towel. I know I got some overlap in here, but we'll just basically be looking at the sides. This one's, I like the takeoff on this one. Once again, it is a single coat application. You can top it. All of these coatings have their own like toppers that you can put on. What we'll probably do is we'll leave it with just the one coat, and then when we play around with it, we'll use their topper and see how good their topper is. So this one, it's pretty slick coating, but not as slick as Ultra. I'm gonna grab a fresh towel. Actually, I didn't do a 3 wipe on this, I don't think. Maybe I did. I'm gonna grab a fresh towel, and we're gonna see exactly how slick these coatings are real quick before we cut out this video. All right, so we're gonna start over here with Crystal Serum Ultra. Very, very slick. Like my towel starts to fall, check that out. This doesn't have a big old slant, but it's definitely, look how slick that is. That's awesome. We go over here to this one. It's pretty grabby, to be honest. I mean, that's a pretty big difference right there. I mean, even right there, it doesn't want to slide. See, there's the Ultra. Okay? You don't get a better slickness test than that. I mean, look at that. That's crazy, right? Now we're gonna go over here to this one. This one's definitely slicker than this one. So you can see it starts to. We gotta have pretty good angle, even with this one. There it goes, a little bit. But it's still pretty grabby. Like, there's a very noticeable difference between Ultra, very, very slick. This one, it's very grabby. This one's like right in the middle of those two. Maybe I should have put it in the middle. So anyway, there's the application process. There's the beginning. What we're gonna do with this one is in a couple days after these coatings are cured, we're gonna come back and kind of do a quick water beading test on this, just like I did in the last video. And then what I'll do is we'll put it through a couple tests. So thanks for watching. I know it was long, I apologize, but a lot of information to share. Thanks guys.